Hello, 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 hello. It's your boy Carl. We are back with another video. This one is a lineup prediction. But before we get into all of that, malarkey, big game tomorrow, Newcastle United versus Aston Villa at St James's Park. We are proud affiliates with your boys over at One Football. If you need to any sort of updated transfer news, etc., then One Football app is the place to be. Lee and Sam usually put a nice little cameo together. So yeah, here we are.
Sam, what are you doing?
I'm just checking through all my football apps just to get some of the latest news.
Well, you don't need to. You need the One Football app. The One Football app sponsors Newcastle Fans TV, and it has all of the latest breaking news, putting loads of articles together. Even Steve Bruce is on there when he's been announced as West Brom manager recently. It's all up to date. The best thing about the app, it pings when there's breaking news. You need it, Sam. Get downloading the One Football app. The link is in the description for that.
I'm downloading it now.
They do make me laugh, them too. Always good banter. I love a bit of acting from Mulliner and Lawler. I nearly said Greenwood then. I'm so used to seeing Johnny and Sam together, of course. Big game tomorrow. Doesn't feel like we don't say that every week. However, what a opportunity to kind of cement time out of the relegation zone that we have tomorrow against I would say definitely an Aston Villa side that has had a manager bounce, but I just don't see them as looking as spectacular as some people have made out. Now, don't get me wrong, Philippe Coutinho had an absolute worldie for about 15 to 20 minutes. Astonishing football. 2 assists and a goal. Jacob Ramsey finished his opportunities very, very well. But on the whole, I don't think they played very well against Leeds at all. And as you can see at the bottom, if you don't know already, Everton are already 2-0 up against Leeds in the first half of their Premier League fixture, which is a huge result for Everton. And does that put into perspective how well Newcastle played? Because there are a lot of pundits that gave us a little bit of credence, but I didn't feel enough credence in terms of how well we actually played. A lot of people put it down to how poor Everton were, but does this prove that we were actually very, very, very good? Because obviously, as a Newcastle fan, we all felt we were. Jonathan Greenwood says, the Carl Derby, it really is, unfortunately. I hate this fixture. It puts a huge divide between friends. The banter is good to a certain extent, but then it just gets frustrating when we've not done very well against Aston Villa away from home, that is, in previous years, recently anyway. But the saving grace is that we're still very resolute at St James's Park against an Aston Villa side. Now, of course, this is it's definitely a more strengthened Aston Villa side with the additions of Philippe Coutinho and obviously Luca Digne. But Ollie Watkins hasn't done as well as he started last season. Jacob Ramsey is obviously trying to make a statement, so he's a very lively character to look out for. But we'll get into Aston Villa a little bit later because I do want to have a look at a few of the Aston Villa YouTube channels. We'll have a look at them together just to see what their lineup predictions are, as well as I found quite a few. Hi, Carl. Thanks. You're doing from Kate and Jonathan. Thank you very much for joining in. You are most welcome. So, let's just get into a few statistics between this hotly contested fixture. As I said, it's a very good opportunity with us having a lot of confidence behind us to really cement us being out of the relegation zone for at least another couple of weeks. Norwich have that fixture against Manchester City this evening, which is, you'd like to say, a formality, but this is football. So things are not always going to plan. But 50th Premier League meeting between these sides. Newcastle fantastically have won 22 and Aston Villa have only won 11. We're unbeaten in 12 Premier League home fixtures against Aston Villa. I believe it's 17 years now since they won it at St James. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, that was that, no pun intended, dire of a day when Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer really got into it, which resulted in them both being sent off and Newcastle getting absolutely pummeled. Yes, but that being said, we have not won a game against Aston Villa in the last 9 fixtures, which is really, really frustrating. I think the last time we beat them was back in the Championship. that's worrying, obviously. But it has been a bit of a stalemate at St James's Park for quite a while now. So if I was a betting man, I'd definitely put it on 1-1. But after the way we've played, I honestly feel that we have, and this isn't me being biased. I think man for man, we more than match them, and I'll say it's not being biased, maybe a little bit. I don't look at that Aston Villa side and be like, yes, I'll take him, I'll take him, I'll take him, I'll take him. Obviously, we would have loved Philippe Coutinho at Newcastle United. We're all very interested in taking Coutinho. That being said, Matt Targett was the player's player of the season last season at Aston Villa. So in terms of not paying any money for him, I don't think certainly after the first game against Everton, it's not a bad trade-off. Obviously, he can't play tomorrow. And then the only other players I look at are Konsa. I like Ezri Konsa a lot. Bonus that he's out tomorrow because he lost his head, got sent off. So it is a bonus that how he doesn't get in the England squad over Tyrone Mings is absolutely beyond me. Anyway, John McGinn, always been a big fan of John McGinn. I think he's an excellent footballer and he's got a lot of bite, and I think he'd really, really excel on the Newcastle United side. Not that he doesn't in the Aston Villa one, but I'm not sold on Ollie Watkins at all. I was always a big fan of Leon Bailey, but again, he's come to the Premier League and he hasn't been able to get his cement his spot because of him being injury prone. And then you look at this Jacob Ramsey, who is absolutely lighting it up for Aston Villa. But other than a few of them, I'm really talking 2 or 3 that I'm realistically saying absolutely they walk into the Newcastle United side. We more than match them, and if not better than them. Alan St. Maximin statistics this season are absolutely off the chart. Now, the last time Newcastle United played Aston Villa, Matty Cash did deal with him very well, and Ashley Young of all people dealt with Maxi very well, but that was under the woeful guidance of Steve Bruce. Maxi, we've all given a little bit of criticism lately, and at times rightly so, and at times maybe we're jumping the gun, but he has come out and shut us up, and that's absolutely what I want him to do. There's been plenty of times where he's held onto the ball too long, hasn't got rid of the ball, and hasn't brought enough of the rest of the team into the play for us to be able to have any sort of sustainable attacking approach. Him running at 5 or 6 people, beating them, and then losing the ball is not always positive. And if we're completely honest with ourselves, prior to the last couple of weeks, it has been, I would say, a downfall of ours. But he seems to be in a great run of form, fantastic amount of confidence at the moment. He really is a maestro in the Newcastle United side, and it's a difficult one because I talk the way I do about him, but he's not someone that you can drop. There's times that I want to drop him to give him a kick up the arse, and then he puts in a performance like he did against Everton where he was absolutely unplayable. So it's a strange one, isn't it? But if he's on form tomorrow, then he can really, really make a difference. Joe Willock, another one. Joe Willock is another one who has been very slow had a very slow start to the season. But he was, and even in the last couple of games where he's had very good games, it's been in the second half of those games. The first half has been really quite pedestrian from him, in my opinion. But he's finished the games very strongly, and for that reason, I think he'll probably start tomorrow as well. I think our midfield is much stronger than theirs, personally. You might think I'm completely wrong. I think we both match each other defensively. Neither of us have got any outstanding defenders. Obviously, other than Kieran Trippier, who we'll get into because it looks like he could make tomorrow. There are rumblings that he could make tomorrow. Chris Wood, I believe, has led the line well. He's just not been very confident in front of goal, but he's allowed himself and allowed players to be brought into play, which is fantastic. Ryan Fraser, again, there's been times where I didn't want him anywhere near the side, and I'm happy to be proved wrong because his tenacity has been another turning point for the side, and that has been absolutely fantastic to see. So I'm going to quickly go through our lineup prediction. I personally think this is how it will start. I think Dubravka in goal, and I'm not going to include Kieran Trippier in this at the moment because the word is that he could last minute make it, but I don't know. So I'm just going to assume that he's out. So we're going to start with Dan Burn at left back, who is going to be very interesting to see what he can produce for the side. Obviously, he's normally a centre half and has the majority of his experience at centre half. However, he can play left back and has experience there, coming off the back of a infected toe, which I'm told is very nasty. And then I think it will be Fabian Schär and Jamal Lascelles paired at centre half and continuing that partnership. Now, Jamal Lascelles, to be fair to him, has had a roller coaster of a season. He is the Newcastle United equivalent of Tyrone Mings at times. He can be fantastic and almost warrant a call up to England, and at other times he can be as bad as Titus Bramble on Titus Bramble's worst day with ice skates on, and like Bambi on ice. But I felt so bad for him when that goal went in. For him to come back and produce a performance he did just is an absolutely fantastic testament to his character. So, yeah, I just hope he can continue that vein of form. And then we have, so assuming Kieran Trippier is out, we'll go with Javier Manquillo. I think that's a relatively easy pickings. Across the middle, I don't think it will be changed at all. I think it will be John Joe Shelvey, Joe Willock, and oh my God, my brain's gone dead. Who was playing in the middle with them? Joe Willock, John Joe. Who else was playing in the middle? My brain's gone absolutely dead. And then come to Chris Wood, Fraser, and Alan Saint-Maximin. Jesus, Carl. Who was playing in the centre of the field with John Joe Shelvey? And I've literally lost it. I've lost it. But I don't think I'm not convinced that Bruno Guimaraes is going to start tomorrow. So I think he will be on. I think he'll start the game on the bench again. But what a 5-minute cameo he had! What a 5-minute cameo he had! It was absolutely fantastic to see. The Willock. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So I think that Joe Linton, not Willock, I'd already said Joe Linton, who's been an absolute revelation this season. I can't believe I forgot about Joe Linton. Yeah, his performances this season, even under Steve Bruce, have been absolutely fantastic, and it's been so good to see. He's been had a huge turnaround in his career and warrants almost being one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment. Yeah, it's just I don't change that after the way we played at Everton. And like I said, obviously you want to see Bruno Guimaraes start and see what he's capable of for 90 minutes. But I think it would be harsh to drop anyone from those midfield three based on their performances against Everton, because every one of them was absolutely fantastic. And then, as I said, Fraser out on the right, Maxi out on the left, and Chris Wood through the middle. Now, what I assume is that Fraser will be playing up against Luca Digne. Maxi will be up against Matty Cash, who, to be fair, pocketed him the first time they played. And Chris Wood will be tussling with, I think it'll be Courtney House and Tyrone Mings. In terms of the middle of the field, we'll have a look at what the Aston Villa fans think themselves, because I'm just going to get into a little share screen now, and hopefully you'll all be able to hear it. So let's do it. Share screen, window, Chrome tab. I'll just skip to...
Hi everyone, we are the Story Girls. This is how Fiverr helped us turn our scary bathroom into the bathroom.
Maybe, possibly. It's a good one really, because it's very interesting with what happened with obviously Ezri getting sent off, and with the news today that Emi Buendia looks like he's not going to make it. It does throw up a couple of little interesting scenarios.
So that is very interesting as well. And positive news for us that Emi Buendia, most Villa fans that I speak to have been praising him over the last 3 or 4 games. I personally think he's shit. To be completely honest, I thought it was a waste of money for almost £40 million. But for the last 3 or 4 games, he's done well. And they were like, oh, he was the best player on the pitch against Manchester United. Whoop the fucking do. Manchester United are crap at the moment. So I just didn't feel with the teams that they played that it was a real justification of how good he is, because against the top sides, and he was terrible. And he went missing and he was weak on the ball. So even though, I feel that way, they're very, very opinionated on the fact that they feel he's one of the integral parts of the team. So the fact that he's out is a big bonus for us. But it looks just from here, it'll be Luke Coutinho on the left, Tyrone Mings. They've got Calum Chambers at centre half. Forgot they'd signed him. Matty Cash, McGinn. Who we got up there? Ramsey, Coutinho, Watkins. I don't know who these two are, if I'm completely honest. So,
doesn't it? Who basically takes that third spot up front in the front three, or in one of the 10 slots? I suppose it is really, isn't it? Behind Ollie Watkins, we've sort of plumped for Ramsey, but I would like to make a case for possibly Chukwuemeka maybe getting thrown in there. We'll go through the whole team, I think, won't we, bit by bit? But I think I don't think any of us really know what Gerrard's going to do. I mean, if you go on his substitutions when Buendia went off, then obviously he chucked Chukwuemeka on. So he was obviously in his thoughts to play in that position. He obviously thinks he can play in that position. That's why he threw him on. But I've also thought today, since just before I came on air, there is also Ashley Young, isn't there? Who we put on for Coutinho, who has got obviously the experience as well and can play in that role. So I think it all depends on which way Steven Gerrard wants to attack it. Now, I said to you lads earlier that we've got to make a change in the back four. That's got to happen, and looks like we're going to have to make a change in the front three. By putting Ramsey into that number 10 slot, it does then create a space in the midfield. So you're sort of messing up three areas, all three areas of the pitch by doing that. So that's the only reason I'm thinking he might stick with Ramsey in the 8 and the midfield 3 as they were in the week, and maybe bring Chukwuemeka in.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll start from keeper then. Picks himself. There's no need to go into too much detail with Martinez. Luke Dean, obviously number 1, first choice left back.
Lads, I don't lasses as well. I'm not even that. I'm not even that brumme, but they absolutely adore the keeper, Argentinian Martinez. They absolutely adore him, and rightly so. He's been a fantastic addition to their side. Why Arsenal let him go is absolutely beyond me. So he will. He'll be difficult to beat tomorrow, definitely. But hopefully, we create enough opportunities to give ourselves that chance. Is Trippier injured? Says calf injury on Flash Score. As far as I'm aware, it hasn't been confirmed yet. And from what I have seen, it's that he could last minute make it at the end of that. He's got a very, very late fitness test. However, I believe he's not trained for the majority of the week. Not that matters, to be honest, because of his quality and his Premier League pedigree and just overall experience. He's fit enough to be able to not train and essentially turn up tomorrow. But there's no confirmation as far as I'm aware. Please let me know if there is. The updated scores, let me just check those as well. Because what have we got? It's still Brighton 1-0. Brentford still draw. Everton still leading Leeds United as well. I only see Jacob and Coutinho as a threat, to be honest. I personally feel the same way. I really do, especially with Buendia out. And like I said, I didn't rate him that highly anyway, so I feel very similar to yourself on that point. Let's just get back to this very quickly.
Tyrone Mings, captain.
Absolutely pony.
This is an interesting one. I've got a few people's hair today, and they're saying they would prefer Courtney Horse instead of Calum Chambers, because we've got and again, how many?
I don't know about you, but honestly, if that's the centre half partnership tomorrow, we've got to be chomping at the bit. Like Eddie Howe has to be literally using those two as a focal point, because that is a terrible, terrible centre half partnership. I'm not interested in what anyone says in terms of it not being that. Now, obviously, with us saying things like that, there's the, of course, the universe will ruin us and they'll have the best games of their lives. But realistically, And 9 times out of 10, that is a terrible centre-half partnership.
Any torrid records
There's no pace. They both turn like buses.
we got here. Another
Maxi will be making them do pirouettes for days.
torrid record we got is that Chris Wood always scores against Villa, and his air.
I don't know what happened there, guys. Apologise.
In the
Technical issue.
pre-season games that we've had, just recently. So,
But yeah, if you missed that, a very interesting point there was that Chris Wood scores in the majority of games against Aston Villa, which is very interesting.
see Chambers. Do you see any differently?
Not really. I could see the argument for Courtney Hawes because he's good in the air, and obviously Chris Wood, he's going to bring a big threat, isn't he? And I think Chambers was brought in specifically because he's a right-footed centre half as well.
I have Callum, and we'll stop that there for very, very shortly. I'll quickly go through it for you again. I believe it'll be Dubravka, Shah, and Lascelles at centre half with Dan Burn out on the left. Javier Manquillo at right back, providing Kieran Trippier doesn't make it tomorrow. However, there is positive news with regards to his late fitness test today, apparently. Joe Willock, John Joe Shelby, and Joe Linton in the middle, and Chris Wood, Ryan Fraser, and Alan St. Maximin. So essentially, I think it will be unchanged. I would love Bruno Guimaraes to start, but I don't think he will. So I'm going a pretty much unchanged side from the Everton game, bar the potential injury of Kieran Trippier. Let's get back to that Aston Villa prediction.
I think obviously we lost Twanzebe in January, not suspended. I think got these little niggles out and these little mistakes.
To be fair, so if we can have that same mentality against St. Maxim, then I'll be over the games and poorest games for Leeds, and I reckon that's probably a testament to our defending with our fullbacks, to be fair. So if we can have that same mentality against St. Maxim, then I'll be over the moon. So we'll move on into the midfield now. This is where it's going to get really interesting, and there'll probably be different fans saying that they want different things. But the reason why we've gone for these three is I think it gives us a little bit more balance, and I'd say we look a little bit more solid. And the reason why I think that is I think this is going to be an important area in this match. And I think if they play Guimaraes in his first Premier League game, his first start, we know how difficult the Premier League is. We know how difficult the pace of the Premier League is. And I would want to be right on him. I would want to let him know that the intensity of the Premier League is like something that he's never, ever played in before. And I just feel like...
Do they have the players that are going to do that other than John McGinn? Like, we're not at Villa Park, lads. We're at Newcastle. It's a fucking cauldron at the moment with the way that the fans are. Like, it will be the other way around in terms of Newcastle letting these boys know that you're at St. James's Park today. You better come to win, because if there's any doubt in your minds, then we're going to take advantage. That's certainly the mindset that I expect to be instilled tomorrow. I don't know about you. I'm very excited about it, to be honest. Very excited.
Like, if we've got Sanson, who is a very good presser, can be in and around midfield, Dougie Luiz and McGinn, I think that's a pretty solid midfield three for me, especially with, coming up against like Shelby as well. And yes, I think we see Jacob Ramsey being a brilliant runner, making those late runs, and you probably would lose that slightly, but I just think I'd worry with Chukwuemeka starting in this game, knowing how difficult it is going to be. What do you think, Justin?
Look at this. Pouch automatically tries all the codes it knows about from all over the web.
Yeah, it's a good point. That is about him coming in and making his sort of full debut. Because I don't think
he will. That's the thing. I don't think Eddie Howe will do that. And even if he does, let's not forget about the type of player that it seems that Bruno Guimaraes is. Yes, he looks like a flair player, but he wants to put himself about. He wants to get the bit between his teeth and get stuck in as well. It could be. It could have them come unstuck.
Looking, it's a tough
Like I
one.
said, this isn't Villa Park. They're not at home.
It's not less involved, but there's less sort of pressure.
Statement one for Chukwuemeka and everything else. But I think one thing that when you think of Buendia is you think of everything that he does going forward. But when you watch Buendia in this system, he's also very good going from that inside to outside press. And he's very good on the defensive side of things. Yeah. So this is when I was thinking of our lineup today, that I had that in mind. And I just felt that with the nature of how difficult and challenging the game's going to be, I'm not sure Chukwuemeka I would 100% trust in this game for that alone, because we saw against Leeds that he gave that ball away for that back pass, didn't he? And it was criminal that he gave the ball away there, and they had the right chance.
So this is interesting because this was only posted yesterday, so I imagine it was either recorded yesterday or the day before, but there was already news yesterday, as far as I'm aware, that Emi Buendia is out. So unless they know something different.
Nice. So I'm just not sure, but Justin, come on then.
Right. We all know the situation with Chukwuemeka and his contract. He's 18 months left, hasn't he? The rest of this season and next season. And the sort of...
We'll leave that one there. I just want to see if we can skip through to maybe find a little bit on Coutinho quickly.
Times when we've got to change in match day.
You don't know whether Dan Burn might play, but their centre-backs are woeful.
I mean, he ain't wrong, but glass fucking houses, son. You've got Mings and Calum Chambers. Fuck me.
Woeful. I mean, ours get criticised, but boy, you won't want them to.
I don't know what to say. Like, am I being over the top? But they're fucking terrible. I'm sorry for my language. I know there's probably young kids watching as well, so I'll try and turn that down. But how are you going to talk about our lot when they're just as bad
in your side? So, yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not doing a straight. I get where they're coming from. They wouldn't want our two. I mean, Fabian Schär surely walks into their side, though. Fabian Schär would be a fantastic partner for Ezri Konsa. Who's better? Fabian Schär is better than Tyrone Mings and Calum Chambers. Come on.
We've gone Watkins, so I think that's pretty much our lineup. Again, let us know what your lineup is. Who you feel like is going to start the game. Let's get on to the bench here now. So we were very positive in the last predicted lineup about Traore. He'd been to AFCON. He'd got some minutes. He was coming back match fit.
I'm not interested about that because Buendia is more than likely not playing. But let's just see. What do you guys think? What do you think? Are you, if that was the lineup, how do you feel about it? Would you be scared? Do you think that we've got enough about us to put it on them tomorrow? I'm still reeling about the centre half. Got like glass houses, Luke. Jesus. Let's have a look at the comments quickly. We need to beat Villa after the way today's game's going. With regards to Everton winning, well, I mean, yes, we do, but we're always going to focus on Watford, Norwich, and Burnley below us at the moment. And results with regards to those three teams have gone well for us. So I absolutely agree. It's in our hands. We need to beat Aston Villa with the game in hand that we do. So that would be very, very, very helpful to ensuring Premier League safety, of course. Travel Chester, what a Sunday call. Newcastle game followed by the Super Bowl. Get the chips and dip ready. 2-1 Newcastle. Bengals go to Disneyland. It's insane, mate. Absolutely insane. You know, one of my friends, I'll show you this. Like, this is absolutely insane. Out of nowhere as well. Bear with me 2 seconds while I find it. We've called the group something completely different and unrelated. But so he dropped a message in the group saying live scenes. And just put this in there. And we're like, what? What do you mean? He works in down in London. He was like, yeah, one of my pals has managed to put me on his works allocation and get me flights over to LA and heavily discounted. Super Bowl ticket. Like, come on. Like, it's unreal. Absolutely unreal. So and that was literally yesterday, flew out 2:30 in the afternoon. Like, literally last minute, night before, his pal was like, got this, can you do it? And now he's in LA. We're getting ready to go to the Super Bowl tomorrow. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, do you think Bruno starts? I personally don't. I'd love him to modular. I don't think he starts. I think Eddie Howe's going to try and gradually bed him in the side, and I think it could be difficult to drop and justify dropping Willock, Joelinton, or John Joe Shelby based on their performances against Everton. But yes, I'd absolutely love him to start. Honestly, mate, crazy. Good evening, Stephen. Hope you're well. Hope you are well indeed. So yeah, it's obviously a very, very tough game tomorrow. And on paper, you'd say that we're probably going to get a draw because that is a kind of historic result at St James's Park between the two of us. Coutinho, obviously a massive, massive, massive coup for them, and everything will be going through him. The boys over at Up the Villa podcast are right. We're not strong at centre half and right, and neither are they. But Ollie Watkins hasn't been in a great vein of form. However, we know all too well that Newcastle United were almost treated as the team to gain your confidence against previously, which is frustrating. Modular Game says, I'd say 2-1 to the team. On that note, everyone get your predictions in the comment section. Let me know what you think the score will be tomorrow. I feel like Willock deserves to start after his performances. I agree. I said that I feel that he was almost pedestrian in the first half of each of these games, and then just gradually grew into them very, very well and put in some excellent performances. And the second half performances from these games was absolutely outstanding. It's just frustrating that it's been taking him so long to kind of get into the game, if that makes sense. Gatsu says 1-1. Leon Bailey is back too. He is, but apparently he won't be starting because he's come off the back of quite a severe muscle injury, I think it was, and he's very injury prone. So they're actually looking to potentially not play him at all. 3-2 says Phil. My cracking. Why you gotta do me like that, bro? Why? Funny. But yeah, I predicted 3-2 against Everton. Would you believe? We ended up going out and running 3-1, which was fantastic. I think I said 3-1 again against Aston Villa tomorrow. I just hope that doesn't come and bite me in the arse. NASA says 2-2. Geordie to Sancaster. Hope you're well. Afternoon, Carl. Tune 3-1 again. I hope so, mate. I really do. You nearly got me. You nearly got me. Lascelles is Newcastle's biggest weakness for tomorrow's game. You know what? Based on recent performances prior to the Everton game, of course, I don't think anyone would disagree. I think what we almost need to try and do as Newcastle fans, because I think it's not just us. I do it a lot. We can almost jump the gun and over criticize the players and end up coming unstuck because they pull out absolute worldy performances like he did against Everton after he conceded that own goal. But I just want to try and be positive about it. He isn't the best centre half option that we have at the club. Absolutely not. However, if he puts in a performance like he did at Everton with that tenacity, then he can help us massively. I don't really care if we go down, but I believe we can stay up. I know we will. We always do. I know what you're saying. I was very worried about it a few weeks ago. I was almost nailed on that we were going down, but the way that things have turned around over the last couple of weeks, and you look at it as a broader picture, it was very obvious that things had changed under Eddie Howe, but unfortunately early on we still weren't getting results. Now that was always going to take time, and I feel like that is paying off now, which is great. Travel Jason says 2-1 Wood first goal. I think that could be written in the stars, and it was interesting that the lads over at the Villa podcast said that he loves a goal against them, so I hope they're right. I do. I'm well, mate. Hope you and your family are well. Absolutely fantastic, mate. Really appreciate that. This game against Everton, he was the best I've seen. I agree. This is it. This is absolutely it, mate. Spot on. And that's not me digging at anyone, because we all do exactly the same. I can be the worst for it. We're so used to that negativity that we're so quick to jump on people's backs. But I do feel like that's changed a lot over the last kind of 10 weeks. and certainly changed since the takeover happened. But I feel like we are really all behind this project as a collective, and there are times where we can still jump on people's backs, but I do think that's starting to wane a little bit. And we are the best fan base in the world. We really are. The coming together of our fans is always something that's spoken about from everyone outside of Newcastle United, let alone inside Newcastle. So we certainly have the power to drive this club forward in terms of staying in the Premier League, creating a positive atmosphere. Like, it must have been terrifying for Jordan Pickford on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever it was. Like, absolutely, and infuriating at the same time. Long term for the rest of the season, our midfield should be Joe, Bruno, Willock. I mean, it's easy. I can't comment on Bruno because I don't know much about him prior to this. It's just YouTube highlights for myself. Obviously, I've tried to do as much research as possible, but until I see that at the moment, I'd be saying, of course, I'll listen to people like yourself, but at the moment, based on performances, got to be looking at Jodin and Willock and Shelby right now. Bruno, I'm sure, will turn it around pretty quickly and will cement his place in the side. I've gone Manquillo in at right back, mate, and Dan Burn at left back with Lascelles and Shah. That's providing Trippier is out. Yeah, we can. Let's do it. Bear with me a second. Let me just do it this way. We'll do it this way. Let's do it on lineup builder. Go to lineup builder. So let me share the screen with you all. Chrome tab, lineup builder, share, Fabian share. Hopefully you can see that, and then I'm just going to change the names on here. So bear with a sec, and then I'll put it at the bottom as well. I don't know if you're going to see that very well, are you? Let's just run through the comments very quickly, and then we'll get the lineup prediction on the screen properly. So, also, if you haven't already, I really appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe. The channel is almost at 32,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. So if you could like, share, and subscribe, that would be fantastic. And also over on my personal channel at Carl Hall, where this is also going live as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe. That would be amazing. Will Brennan playing tomorrow again versus Aston Villa? I would say almost certainly yes, Thomas. Will he start? I'm not sure. He's not included in my starting 11, but I'll show you that very shortly. This has improved with competition for his spot, and he is that type of player, isn't he? Kind of motivation in the sense that he wants to be a winner, so he's very competitive, and I think his performances will improve with someone breathing down his neck. Absolutely. Hope you get the bragging rights down there next week. So do I, Chris. I really do. Otherwise, my phone's going to be on mute for at least a week. You can't underestimate Villa. Stevie G has got the team playing well, but I believe that Toonami will win on the high. We are now with Eddie. Hard game, 3-2 Toonami, SMJ7 Bruno Wood. 100%, it comes from bitterness from me, but I will never actually underestimate Aston Villa, especially with Steven Gerrard at the helm. He's proved so far to be a fantastic appointment. Did I necessarily think it was the best idea at the time for them to get rid of Dean Smith? No. Would I have been wrong immediately? Yes. In the long term, I don't know. Still yet to be proven. But one thing he does have is a fantastic draw on players. Coutinho's at Aston Villa because of Steven Gerrard, and the way that they've played with him in the side has been absolutely exceptional for them. But as I've said earlier on in this video, over the last 2 weeks, I don't feel that they were playing as good as, or the last 3 or 4 weeks, I don't feel they've played as good as what people were making them out to have been. I thought they were immediately when Steven Gerrard come in, but I think people can suss them out pretty quickly because there's still a lot of individuals in that team that are not worth the money that's been paid for them, and I honestly don't think are Premier League quality. Talking about from a glass house there because we're in exactly the same boat, but we all know that at the moment we're relegation candidates, so it's definitely going to be a difficult game. I just genuinely feel we have more quality, Coutinho aside. I think the Everton game now made us realise we are the richest. The fitness levels are unbelievable now. It's such a difference. Doubt Bruno will start. He'll likely get eased in. He'll get more minutes tomorrow, though. It won't be a 4-minute cameo. Absolutely. Imagine a standing section like Celtic Park. It would be insane. Everton are beating Leeds, good or bad for Newcastle. See, we're having this debate in the group at the moment. I think, it was one of them where I thought, Everton are in an absolute free fall here. And there's a real possibility that they can go down and we can catch them. And it was always going to be in our hands. So, sorry, I need to update that as well because it's 3-0 to Everton, isn't it? But even more so now. So all we realistically need to focus on is ourselves, because the likes of Norwich and Watford have now, Newcastle now have a game in hand on them, and we're already out of the relegation zone. The only team that we realistically, like right now, mathematically, that you could essentially worry about is Burnley, who still have 3 games to play. So they've still got 3 games in hand on us. Is that right? Yeah, 3 games in hand on us, and they're only 4 points behind. But have they got enough quality up top to get those goals? I don't think so, personally. So it's really down to, as long as we focus on ourselves, we go out and get those results week in, week out, we can't complain. If we go down, it will be us beating ourselves from this point, in my opinion. I'd put him on 68th, 70th minute, possibly. Assist for Bruno. If Trippier is fit, it's a game changer. If Trippier is fit, I'm almost guaranteeing a win for Newcastle because of what he brings in the changing rooms as well. I hope we get a new seat change at the end of the season. Villa have only one of their last 6 games, won one of only their last 6 games, and Gerrard won 5, lost 5, drew 2. Not fantastic, to be fair. The game will be winning midfield. Exactly. And they've lost more games than us. I know, obviously, we've been struggling to find wins, but there's no kind of middle ground with Aston Villa. It's which team's going to turn up. So they're either going to go out and do absolute bits, or they're going to do absolutely nothing. And you're seeing the leads on the seats would be unreal. Geordie boys in the Gallagher, what our stadium really needs. Do you think the new owner will build a new stadium? I do, unfortunately, think at some point that is a real significant possibility. I do. Love from the pile. Trippier is brilliant. Thank you very much, Rossi Football. Absolute hero. How many subs has the channel gained since the takeover? A few, to be fair. I could quite comfortably. We're probably approaching almost. Since I'd have to double check the numbers. You know what? Let me double check, see if I can. But I think it's close to 10k. Almost close to 10k, if not at least 6. Which has been fantastic, and I think that will hopefully continue to grow moving forward. Everton pumping Leeds, didn't expect them. No, I didn't either. I honestly thought it'd be the complete opposite way around. I would have put all my money on Leeds, to be fair. Imagine a new 90,000 seater stadium. Do you think we would fill it? No doubt that we would. Week in, week out. Like, obviously, the majority of the stadium is made up of local people, but there's people like myself. I live 250 miles away. I have a season ticket. Now, don't get me wrong, because I've had a little and not so long ago. I found it very difficult to get to games this season. But there were people all over the country that would absolutely snap their hands off for season tickets. That's how crazy our fan base is. The Geordies, the actual born and bred Geordies in Newcastle will travel all over the country, and we buy into that, and ourselves outside of Newcastle we'll do that in the opposite direction. So I think we would quite comfortably sell a 90,000 stadium, which is insane to think. Can you imagine? I can only see one change at left back, Bernal Mankier. If Trippier is fit, Bruno second half, sub after 65 minutes. You can't drop Willock. It will destroy the lad's confidence when he's playing better. I absolutely agree. That's the ish. It's a good problem to have, though, isn't it? Gerrard had a good team when he joined. Agreed. Newcastle will not be relegated, sure. Messi fan, but Newcastle best team in the Premier League from Roshan of Nepal. What an absolute legend. Thank you, mate. I love Lionel Messi, by the way. Team lineup: Bernshard, Lascelles, Manquillo, J7, Joelinton, John Joe Willock mid, ASM Wood Fraser. Yes, in a 4-3-3 is exactly what I predicted. And I'll keep that on there. To be fair, you're going to save me a job once we come back through. ASM Trivia Bruno is the start of a strong spine. We can build on in the next year or two before the full team takes shape. Need a dominant centre half as well. Do you know, are any of you interested to incorporate Miggy in the later stages in terms of seeing how much he wants to try and win a place back as well? Or do you think it's almost end of the line for him? we can obtain 14th place at the end of the season, checking the table. Okay, interesting. That would be amazing if we could do that from where we started. But yeah, I'm just gonna. I'll get the lineup on here. He says. So I don't know where I am there. Yeah, left back. How do I zoom in? Can I zoom? I've got like a 80% gaming keyboard, so I don't have all the keys. Left hand side, I'm going Dan Burn. Let's not worry too much about etc. We'll go. Oh my god. Lascelles. Shaw. And providing Trippier is out, Manquillo. Be a huge boost though if Kieran Trippier can make tomorrow, wouldn't it? Yeah. Also, we're not doing that, are we? We're doing a 4-3-3. So we'll go out here, here. Maybe a little bit narrower. Bring Maxi down there. Ryan Fraser there, who again has put some absolute shifts in. Of course, Dubravka in there. What do you guys make of the rumours about a straight swap with Henderson and Dubravka? I think they've been rubbish by Eddie Howe. But is that something any of you would entertain? Be interested to know. I can't remember who started where in terms of through the midfield. Was it Willock out on the kind of left, or was it Joe? I can't remember, but either way, Big John's. Let's have a. I think it would be more like that. Maxi. Good old Maxi. And then Fraser. And it has to be Chris Wood, doesn't it? Who hopefully can obtain his first Newcastle United goal tomorrow. So that is my predicted lineup. Let me know. Can you guys even see that? Probably not. I need to zoom in, man. Hold control and then scroll the mouse. Alex, thank you. I'm such an idiot. Control. Oh, you're the goat. You're the goat. See how that's looking. Is that better? Can you see that, guys? Rafinha and Salisu will be realistic, amazing options for us in the summer. Improve us drastically, and they won't need to adapt to a new league. Do you know what? It would be, if Leeds were to go down and we can get the likes of Rafinha, how amazing would that be? How amazing would that be? I need to change the banner at the bottom, don't I, really? Because that is actually 3 now. Or is it 4? I don't know. So, yes. Will Trippier be fit? If he doesn't make tomorrow, he'll absolutely be fit next week. ASM and Rafinha is box office. Can you imagine? Oh, naughty. I think Miggy is pretty much halfway out of the door, wishing the best going forward. He's been an absolute workhorse for the club and such a fantastic person, it seems, that I also would wish him nothing but the best. But I'd love for him to be able to make a real go of trying to win a position back and see what he's finally got. Your supporters exactly the same as the likes of me that leaves no one better than anyone else. Definitely fill up the stadium of 80,000 every week with a good team. Imagine. I actually live in Birmingham, Roshi. Yes, I'm surrounded by Aston Villa fans. I want to see Miggy for Willock for a sub. Interesting. Again, Alex, you're a hero. Thank you so much, mate. Yeah. So, that's about where we are, guys. I'm going to look to wrap it up there. I think we'll probably have some more videos out throughout the morning tomorrow. You'll have possibly a video from Lee driving into St. James's. Yeah, unfortunately, I actually couldn't get there. So the plan was I looked earlier in the week, and I don't have the car, unfortunately. So they were trained, as obviously people who live around Newcastle will know, that there were pretty naff train works going on the train lines, which had taken a 4-hour train journey from Birmingham up to around 7 hours. I was like, oh gosh, which by the way costs around £100. So it's a lot of money, you know, but it is what it is. We love the club. We spend these kinds of things, but using my brother's rail card, I'd have been able to get about a third off. So we're looking, you know, at maybe a crap time going up today, for example. I could have got on the train for about 50, 60 quid, but with things today, I couldn't do it. So tomorrow, though, the first train that gets into Newcastle from Birmingham is at 1:45. Now, as I said, there's works on the track, so I can't risk that. So I randomly looked at a flight, and there was a flight yesterday that would have flown into Dublin, into Newcastle Airport, 3 hours. It was literally just an hour stop off in Dublin. I was like 50 quid, and it went up to like £150 on Friday night. And I was just like, I can't justify that. I can't, because then it's a hotel on top of that, and it ends up being 250 quid before I'm even at the game, eaten. And, you know, as much as I love Newcastle United, with a little one, I can't justify £300-400 for one game. I can't, unfortunately. So yes, but yeah, Adam, why you gotta do me like that? Do you know what the worst thing is? I just looked at your profile picture. Obviously, you know, seeing Ginola. I just saw Claret Blue. Like, why has he got a Villa picture as his what's it? Ah dear. Watford down 3. Wow. Interesting. So that is really, really, really opening things up for us. We have a real opportunity to kind of start going clear of this relegation zone now, and we need to take that by winning tomorrow. I just hope that we put enough emphasis on the attacking prowess that we've got to be able to do that, and do not allow Philippe Coutinho to run the game. So yes, thank you very, very much, guys, for all of your interaction. Again, it's been too long for me doing any sort of prolonged videos on this channel, and I will be on much more going forward. So I appreciate you all very much. I think I'm not guaranteed about whether I'm going to be on the watch along tomorrow. I'll let you know. But I'll certainly be on some videos and helping out tomorrow across the channel as well. So if you if I don't speak to any of you tomorrow, have a fantastic week. I hope we have a fantastic result. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Yeah, thank you very much again. Daylight, if win tomorrow, absolutely, Adam. If Chris Wood couldn't play in future, will it be worth a shot as a false 9? Well, maybe. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Enjoy your evening. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. You're absolute legends. Let's go and get a result tomorrow. How are the lads getting? Yeah, Joe Linton, hat trick. Peace.